Timmy was like a dad. You know what I mean? He's like having a dad that just lets you do whatever the hell you wanted. No, you can figure it out. Look, this is how you turn it on. Put that son up there and pull the trigger. It worked. You know, that's how he was. All right, so we went out to Lafitte's Fabrication, and Chase is still out there. There's a top secret project that's nearing completion, and we're gonna do some interviewing with this guy and get to see this car go. But in order to keep progress going, Carter and I came back here. I got the room cleaned out earlier this morning, and now I'm gonna go ahead and get this car downstairs because we're gonna put it in that room. And then I'm gonna take all of our brand new Baileigh tools in there and get them set up so we can start using them. So we're gonna try to roll this car down this hill, just Carter and I. We know it has brakes. Tires are holding there for about 5 seconds. So let's roll it down the hill and get it out of the way. Set the cherry picker up and start moving tools. Look at my race seat.
That's exactly what Carter's doing.
Yeah, it worked.
Alright, don't hit the brakes. Aim for the door. Alright.
That thing is not bolted down. That is not safe. This room's nice and clean, eh? We'll just put the car as close this way as we can, and then I'm gonna put tools over there, for now at least. We gotta run some more power in here for the ones that need power. The B-roll is really the only one that needs power. Everything else, just air, and we got air.
Looks pretty good sitting in here.
Yeah, this room's a lot bigger than it looks. Like, this would be an awesome home shop. Man, that car's so nice. Don't nobody buy that thing. All right, I'm gonna set this cherry picker up and start figuring out moving these tools down here. Now that everything's down here, I'll just figure out how I'm gonna organize it so that it's accessible for everything. Thanks Baileigh, and thanks Gas Monkey, because that's so nice. That's so nice. You know how long I've been watching videos online of these tools? Now I got some of my own. Look at all that coolness right there behind me. This is gonna be an awesome work area. Definitely need some lights, some extra plugs. I've got air here, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and run a line across so I don't even have to be running a hose through here. I can just tee into this line, come straight across to the planishing hammer and have air right there with just a little whip. I'm not gonna bolt these down yet because I've never used most of these tools, so I think I've got enough room for them as far as in between them, but I'm not sure. So right now we're gonna leave them unbolted and see what it's like. One other thing though is, Baileigh sent us this throatless shear, and it doesn't have a stand, but I found this stand. So they sent us this cool, if you've never used one of these, this is a great way to cut your sheet metal, but we need somewhere to mount it, and I've got this stand. It just needs a new top on it because it's got a hole in the middle. So I'm gonna cut the top of this off, make a new plate, weld it on there, and then our throatless shear will have a nice stand. Whammo! It's in this room. It's ready to operate. Everything looks good. All the tools are set up and ready to rock. Thanks to Baileigh and Gas Monkey for sure. Like Richard and Josh, they went out of their way to make sure this worked out for us too, which is super badass, man. Those guys have really helped us out more than the public actually sees. So it's super cool to be part of this stuff, man. It really is. At the end of the day, like I go home and I think, God dog, things are really happening, which is badass. Like it feels good. So I got to learn to use these tools. But this part of my day is done. Next part of my day is I'm gonna get old Mac off the lift and we're gonna start working on another project because we have to wait on the square body until some of our sponsors and some of our parts start rolling in. So I'm gonna start working on something else. So let's go check that out. This is Chase's 1954 Chevy. He's had this truck since before the journey even started. He bought this from a place over in Tyler, Texas. He's had several other shops work on it, and it just sits here. It really does, it just sits here. There are a couple of things on this truck that really need to be addressed. The wiring is one of those things. They put this truck on an S10 frame, which is a very common thing. With a lot of these 50s trucks, people put them on S10 chassis, but this one, they shorten the chassis down, and there's just a vertical weld on the frame. There's no bracing, there's no anything. I can't like that either. So we're gonna come in and fish plate that frame and then just clean up some things underneath the truck. We got new door latches for it and just get it where it's a driver again. He just got the title worked out on it so he could sell it if he wanted to. We could drive it and enjoy it, but either way, it needs a little TLC and we're gonna start on that. Instead of tearing into the dually or anything else, I'm gonna get this thing moving, mobile, on the lift and start addressing problems on it. So let's go. Carter and I have been underneath the truck looking around, and there's a bunch of things that I would love to fix, but they're not gonna be prudent to fix. And it's not that there's anything wrong with them, they just don't look as cool as I'd like them to look. And it's not gonna matter. I mean, the transmission cross member is kind of drab. The ends aren't welded up on it, just as far as the tube they've used. But it doesn't, there's nothing wrong with it. So it's fine. But there's a couple of safety issues, and that's what I'm gonna address first. The rear brake line back here is just zip tied. The flex line for it is kind of pinching in between the shock and the rear end housing. That's just an accident waiting to happen too. Like, brakes are pretty freaking important. They had to shorten this chassis for the wheelbase on this body, and I'm not happy with how they put the frame together in that section. It's just a butt weld right down the middle. So I'm going to address that. I'm gonna go back in there, bevel out the inside of this, get a weld in there, and then put a fish plate, a reinforcement plate on the inside and weld that in there. But I'm just gonna get the safety issues knocked out first, and then I can come back and try to address some of the aesthetic issues. Some of the airlines, I'm not happy with their routing. They're rubbing on stuff, and that sucks. And wiring is the only other real thing. There's a couple of aesthetic things I'd love to fix. I don't know if we're actually gonna do that, but as far as the functionality under and the safety under here goes, we're gonna address all that stuff. So I'm gonna get to work, making a plan of action, start getting everything out of the way because I've got fuel lines and wires and stuff in my way anyway. I gotta move to do this patch on the frames. That's my main concern. Doing that first, let's go. Yeah, it's definitely got some weld on it now and some reinforcement as opposed to what it had before.
Yeah, that was not good.
Not good.
We got to do. You still got to do this side.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to do one side at a time, but I got all my pieces made now, so.
Okay. All right.
I'm almost done with this one, and I'm gonna move on to the other one.
All right, buddy.
I'm sorry, y'all. I got a little ahead of myself. I welded this thing up, and I immediately started grinding on it because I'm just trying to get it done. So here it is in all its glory. It is okay. My welds on top and on the sides look great, but down here, it was so hard. It was so hard to get that gun underneath there. I need one of them welding guns that you can bend the tip on. But I got a little bit of undercut down here on the bottom horizontals, like here. But it's in there. I got my plug welds all welded in and ground out. So that is ready for a coat of paint. So just getting these knocked out, I feel so much more confident about this frame rail now. That's for dang sure. And yeah, just keep head down and keep working. I'm gonna let y'all in on the conundrum that is my life. Like, I only fixed this section and I'm cleaning the frame rail up so I could paint that section where it's bare metal. Out of habit, I just started going a little further, cleaning off, you know. And now I'm just looking, I got like 2.5, 3 more feet, and I could just clean the whole inside of this frame rail and paint it and it'd be done. Like, that's the snowball effect in full effect. Like, look at here. So here is our patch, and I cleaned up this section right here. And now I'm like, oh, I stopped here, but I could go ahead and clean up all of that. Just back to the notch right there. It's all, they painted everything when they put it in back there. Just right here. I mean, I'm gonna, because I can't help it. I'm gonna clean it up, make it look nice, and then everything around it won't.
You're making some progress. You already got this side all tacked in. Got your cutout done. Moving on to this side.
Go on this side.
What'd they say about your rack?
They're sending me a return. Lego, he don't have
They
it.
don't have it?
They don't have the one you want?
No.
What we got going on? What did you get?
Rack and pinion.
Where'd you get this? eBay?
Salvage yard.
You making sure they sent you the right one?
Yeah, make sure they sent me the right one. Ready?
Yeah.
One.
2.
That ain't no.
What? That was 2.5. What is the regular one?
About that.
Really? So it cuts a half out to have the higher end one?
For sure.
You might not have the right one.
I might not have the right one.
But
But
you know
if I get this
it'll
cut, if I get this cut out, guess what? I can throw that one in. Make sure everything's good. And then I'll send it back. What's messed up is it says on the rack 84 model. And on the receipt it says 86 model. But I know how. We know, me and Russell both know how.
That happens. Y'all used to work at the same kind of place.
I was there this morning talking to Timmy and Michael about it. About how we all quit our jobs as soon as the junkyard opened. There was 4 or 5 of us went to work at the junkyard, and it was the most fun I've ever had. Timmy was like a dad. You know what I mean? He's like having a dad that just lets you do whatever the hell you wanted. No, you can figure it out. Look, this is how you turn it on. Put that son up there and pull the trigger. It worked. You know, that's how he was. I slammed the door on that wrecker that time and busted the window. I was mad, boy. I slammed that door. And I didn't know Timmy was standing there, and that window just shattered. He's like, well, go on out back and get you another one. Get that swapped out. He said, no, you're going to do it right now. You just broke it. You're going to get it fixed right now. Yes, sir.
And then Russell was in the back doing something and his pants leg was on fire. Timmy just comes by, just casually. You're on fire, Hot Rod.
Yeah, and he's had to say it like 3 or 4 times before I realized. And by that time, the whole pants leg was burning.
What were you doing? Welding or cutting?
Yeah. We didn't use many tools as cutting torches. You know what I mean? Like, we took everything apart with a cutting torch back then.
Gas tank came out with the cut board.
Yeah.
Gas tanks came out of the cutting torch?
Yeah, dude.
How many times did they blow up?
Never.
We cut everything out with cutting torch. Everything. You wasn't getting no motor mounts. Okay, guys, so this is the end of the day on Chase's old 54 truck. Like I showed you earlier, I got the frame rails painted. I got a bunch of wires pulled out. I went ahead and pulled a bunch more wires out. There's a whole bunch of batteries going to the positive post on here, so I got a power distribution block. We're going to be getting rid of all those multi-wires going to the battery and just have one coming from there to our distribution block, and then we can divvy the power out that direction, that way. But it is Friday. We're gonna wind down here at the shop for the day, and we'll be back on this old 54 next week.